We're live now. I just
We
got a
are
notice.
live now. Hello, everybody. Welcome to my kitchen, which is a little messy right now, but only because my son is making us an absolutely top drawer dinner tonight, some carne asada. So that's why I have open tins of chipotles, chilies all around. But we're here. I'm here with Miss Jen Taub in her kitchen right now. Nice to see you. Hello. And it is 5 o'clock somewhere, as they say. Walk, walk. And we are here to make some cocktails, also some mocktails, or as someone also pointed out to me, maybe the word mocktail is not the word, but the word is free-spirited cocktails. So there you go.
I like mocktail because it captures my attitude, Marissa.
Because you mock it. But we're going to start out because when your guests arrive, you should always have a drink ready for them. So to all of you out there, I have invented or a what I'm calling a summary French 75. And Jen, at home where she is, north of me, will be making it along with me. And if any of you, I'll post the recipe for this later. But I'm grateful to all of you for joining us today on Substack. I feel like we're diving right in. And for all of you, I don't know how you wouldn't know Jen Taub. You're here because you know Jen Taub. Hi, Jen Taub, a legal scholar, professor of law, and author, and just an all-around lovely person. So that's why I like to have a cocktail with her and talk about the events of this week. So a French 75 typically, let's get right into it, is made with gin.
Oh, wait, I need to show my gin.
This is your gin. She has something fancy like Tanqueray. I have Kirkland gin, which is great, by the way. All Kirkland liquor.
So we are now not sponsored by Taub, but listen, if Tanqueray wants to sponsor, we're good with that. Okay, what else do we need?
We also need some Prosecco, and I have La Marca Prosecco. Nothing too expensive because you are going to be futzing around with it and adding flavors to it.
I don't really drink Prosecco, so I found the Rosé Prosecco, and Marissa said it was okay. So,
and it's going to be beautiful because we're going to add white peaches to it. Speaking of Costco, I have found, and I know this sounds like, I live in New Jersey. We have peach farms. I like to buy my peaches at the farmer's market, but the white peaches at Costco right now, they come from California, are perfection. So I buy a whole actual box. And I'd like you to know that I just leaned across my entire counter and didn't break anything. So I'm really proud of myself.
Can I say something about Costco since we're being political? What a great business. And I think they care about their employees. Yep. And they're a really good alternative to Target, which we're not going to. So yeah, go Costco.
Go Costco.
Kirkland and everything. That sounds right.
They really try hard, right? I've got some nice Kirkland cheese, whatever. It's all Kirkland for me. So we have the white peaches, and we also have lime.
Ooh.
A traditional French 75 is lemon. It uses sugar syrup. Ours won't. It uses gin. Ours will. And it uses Prosecco. Ours will.
How much lime do I need? Because I've got to be preparing under the screen.
How much lime? You're going to need, I'm making 4. Mostly because I'm having 4 people come over later. So hopefully I will have these ready for them and I won't have had them all. I'm not going to drink 4. Nobody worry about me.
My God, guess who I have coming over? Michael's here. And
Michael is her husband.
Well, Michael, but his Ira's really, I have a hot husband, but Ira's like a carpenter hot husband of my friend Hillary. So we need some cheesecake here, right? We can. 1 second. Let me knock on the window and get them to come say hi. Hold on.
Okay. While she's gone, I'm going to tell you that I've already squeezed the limes.
So I'm shouting
at her friend. She's shouting. Yes. Doesn't this feel like you're right here in the kitchens with us?
Yeah, it does. So I really, first I want Michael to come say hi, and then my friend's hot husband Ira too. Okay, go. Just say hi.
Yes. Are we?
We're objectifying the men. This is sweet, Michael. It's who I'm making my drinks for. Ira, come over on this side. This side. This is Hillary, who I call the new girl's husband, and my husband's friend Ira. Look,
Hi.
Hey, cheers. Nice to see you.
Everyone
And to
likes you.
everyone else.
Okay, great. I'm making you guys these drinks. Just come back in about 5-10 minutes.
Yeah,
Okay,
sounds good.
love you guys.
For drinks. I
Yeah.
agree with Miss Kitty, who just said that their blue cheese at Costco is excellent. And I
Oh, the
forgot
blue
to buy
cheese at
some.
Costco is excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's French. It's Saint Agur or something like that. Please don't correct me. Okay, so I am making I'm gonna start making the drink now. And I'm gonna pour the first thing I'm gonna do actually is pour just a handful
Oh
of
my
I have
God.
this very
Wait,
cute little
lift
thing.
those peaches up so we can see.
They're absolutely exquisite. So they're white peaches, so they
Put one
have a
in.
very
What?
mellow flavor. One in your mouth. There you go.
Uh,
Yeah,
okay, thank
very
you.
good. Yeah. Um, white peaches if are are really light in flavor. They almost taste rose like to me. They add a very mellow flavor and all peaches, like if you don't want to bother with this, you throw a peach at the bottom of a champagne glass and pour a little prosecco over it. Peach, yellow peach, nectarine, whatever. Perfect in the summer. That's what
Can
I
I be
think.
honest with you? With
Yes,
my
please.
situation. So I had some squat nectarines, the really cute ones in the fridge, but I wanted peaches. And I went today and you said they had to be ripe. And I said they had to be ripe. So you know what I did to help ripen up my peaches? A bad thing.
Did you microwave them?
I fucking did.
Well, since you
Sorry.
used it, I have no problem with that. If did it work?
It did. It did. And because I'm smashing them up right now like you are.
Right. So we're going to muddle this. I'm using a wood, I mean, that stone inside, but I'm going to hold it up for you. And so I'm going to do a lot of mashing here because I'm not using a sugar syrup. I want to actually make sure that there is some sweetness, and that's why I'm doing it with the um,
I
peaches.
mashed.
She mashed. Oh, she did. She mashed better than I did, but she had a little prep. Then I'm going to pour in 3 ounces, which is, I have a jigger here. It was actually my father's jigger. So it comes from
Oh,
sometime
wait a
around, I guess,
second. 3 ounces
1978.
of what?
Lime juice.
Oh, pew. I thought, okay, good. Okay. I did that.
Um, you and we've had made cocktails before live when I was doing my other podcast.
No
We made
kidding.
those. Did we make pea? We made pea, or did you
Did
just
we
serve
not?
those to me at your house?
No, I
So
made
I
those
bet
for you at my house. We made the what is it called? Butterfly pea blossom
mhm,
lemon drops where they kind of change color. Yeah.
right.
I did
So
that with Eugene Carroll on YouTube the other day.
lovely. I think that's what gave me the idea to have you over for cocktails. So here we have this lovely mash,
Oh,
um, which
lovely
smells.
mash. I think I made
mm,
too much. Shit.
No, I mean, it doesn't
Okay,
matter. Just
whatever.
pour some in. Pour some in. And then I'm going to add in. Um, hold on for it. 6 ounces of which is basically 3 jiggers full. But I am making this for a number of people, so and I poured that in
Yes.
there. And I've also just poured gin over an open wound in my finger, which I think, letting you all know about that is really taking you
You
into the
know,
verisimilitude of our existence. Who's happy to be
in
there
the
with
old timey movies, they used alcohol to clean things. I was
me?
watching. I'm watching. No, I'm watching the John Adams series, a really old one. I think it's 10 or 15 years old with Laura Linney
Uh-huh.
and Paul Giamatti. And there's this moment when she doesn't want to get smallpox, and she's like scrubbing the floor with whiskey. So
Oh my goodness.
I
And
don't know
then
if
she
it
gets
worked.
a smallpox shot.
Yeah, she
Isn't
does.
that-
Oh my God, she and her kids got the inoculation. Yeah,
So wait,
that
so
was
let me just
after.
let's be timely about that. Okay, so that was what in the 1700s, early 1700s, mid
No,
1700s
late.
in the
It was
United
around 1775, 1774.
1775. Okay, and they were dabbling around in inoculations, and it turned out that inoculation worked, and it saved a lot of people from dread diseases like smallpox. And here we find ourselves today. What year is it? Is it 1774? No.
No.
Wait, it's 2025. And
Yeah,
we
we're
have
one
people,
year away from the Declaration of Independence.
and we have we have people questioning, not just any people, like the head of the Health and Human Services, questioning whether or not we should be using vaccines or not. What would,
I think the common theme here
yes,
is our mistresses can get abortions, our children can get inoculations, our children can be protected. But you know what? We're going to have pedophile rings and rape your children, and we're not going to give you health care, and you can all go fucking die. We are the kings. That's kind of the theme of the Republicans and the. Sorry, am I jumping into something negative now? Wait,
let,
this
wait,
drink. Wait, go ahead.
I'm going to put a few pretty peaches at the bottom of my drink. Can you see
Okay,
the sun coming through almost
I'm
on cue
doing.
in my kitchen?
I am
And
doing the
I've
same.
I've stirred and muddled this to make it a really beautiful light pink color, so it will go nicely with yours. And I'm going to use a strainer here.
I'm
Um,
straining as we speak into this.
and I'm going to fill it up about halfway. And I'm using a champagne flute because I've already put ice in it. You can make this on the rocks, serve it in a tall glass if that's your thing.
No.
And then I'm going to top it up with some.
Wait, is there ice in your glass or did you chill your glass?
I didn't chill my glass, but I did muddle my cocktail with ice.
Oh, I didn't know that was an option.
It's an option instead of using an like you might do with a regular cocktail shaker.
Yeah.
So I'm going to leave you behind right now because I'm going to try this. Is that rude? Do you think that's rude? Do the people at home think that's rude? I'm sorry if you do.
It doesn't matter. Rude is your brand or my brand. I'm sorry.
What? My mother
Okay.
raised me to be a nice
Why are
lady.
these guys not showing up? I told them. No.
No.
Okay, I'm
they
going to
don't.
try it too. I'm going to try it too.
Okay.
Okay, like you did. So first, how much do I put halfway full?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. And then I
And
take
I'm
my
just going to top
prosecco.
it up. Little prosecco, top
Did
it
you
up.
put red berries or is that just
Those are the white
my
peaches.
top it off? Wait, shit. It's gonna.
It's going to be basically like a very fancy Bellini, right? Because it's cheers to all of you. Thank you for joining us all today.
This is good.
That's yummy. Now, I don't like a sweet drink, so for me, this is perfect. The alternative drink I have for others before we get into talking about stuff, I have a pop quiz for you that will be coming up, by the way, is my favorite my favorite non-alcoholic drink is water, but also sparkling pink grapefruit juice from Fever Tree. And that with lime and muddled peaches is my option for you, and served beautifully in a cocktail glass, very beautiful summer drink. This, if you find it's just the best drink, even on its own. It makes a great drink. And 30 calories for one can. Thanks. Happy that Fever Tree is a sponsor. But anyway, let's talk. I'm gonna ask you a question. Okay, this is a pop quiz. The superintendent of the Board of Education of the state of Oklahoma. Okay, don't fill in the blanks. I'm going to give you. Okay. So far we have the superintendent of the state of Oklahoma.
Okay.
Had a meeting online the other week. Two members of. Oh, by the way, this guy, right wing, very anti-LGBTQ plus, and is one of the people who is buying the Bibles, the Trump Bibles for classrooms. Okay, so they were having a meeting. He was running the meeting. Two board members say they spotted something on his computer. Would you like to guess what it was they spotted on his computer?
Is this for the chat or for me?
That's for you. Anybody in the chat can answer.
I'm not guessing. I know. The allegation is several naked women.
So he was looking at what's called pornography.
Oh, right.
Right.
That's the word.
That's the word. It's pornography. So welcome to it wasn't like it could be a Mad Lib at this point with these people. You know what I mean?
I mean, is it pornography or was it just naked women? Because there's a difference. It could be something to the effect of.
He could have been looking at like French art.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question, Marissa, about this? Why is this called a French 75?
I do not know. I once looked it up and I've completely forgotten. And you caught me off guard. I looked it up today. And
it has to do with some French munition or something like that. So 75 millimeter something or other. Maybe it was a gun or maybe it was cannon. I don't know.
Okay, that's very good.
Maybe
I
someone in
am
the
not.
chat. Is there a chat? Do they do chats here?
Yeah, there are people chatting. In
Maybe
fact,
someone in the chat
I'm
can confirm.
I am not related to Richard Rothkopf. I'm related to David Rothkopf. If somebody knows who David Rothkopf is, if
One
you
second. I'll be right back. I'm just grabbing
okay,
something. So
she's going to be right back.
I'm right
Um,
back. I'm right back. I just have to grab this to tell Michael and Ira that their drinks are ready.
very good.
I'm still here.
So as a legal scholar, I'd like you to sort of talk me through this week. As I wrote to the people who follow me on Substack, am suffering from a very serious case of injustice fatigue and also of lack of consequences fatigue. Um, and I would like you to tell me how to cure that. Does it involve never watching the news again?
So what the key word that I heard you say was fatigue.
Mhm.
And I think you need to transform that fatigue into anger. Because fatigue is this kind of anger that's swallowing you up.
Mhm.
You're frustrated, you're exhausted that no one's paying attention. And so oh, here they come. What I'm thinking that you need to do is acknowledge that and think about the ways in which you can channel that anger into something. Okay, here we go. I think I put too much of this in. Hold on. Top it off.
So I would agree with you that I think that I do feel
Cheers. Sorry.
my frustration is just bottled up anger. Yeah.
Bottled up anger, right?
My fatigue is bottled up
Oh, sorry.
anger.
Drink a little bit and then I'll give you more. Oh, shit. I'm not good at pouring the Prosecco.
Mhm. Well, you probably would be great at pouring it if you weren't, there weren't hundreds
Talking
of
to
people
us.
watching you. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so
By
I'm
the way, let
supposed
me
to
just tell
check.
these guys there's no simple syrup in here. It's all just the fresh mulled peaches.
Perfect.
Oh, shit. See, it's bubbling over. So good.
Somebody just try walking hand in hand with anger and joy. Oh,
Walk
I
hand
like
in hand
that.
with anger and joy. Okay.
So, like, in the one hand is anger and the other is joy, but I don't think the
Actually,
two will ever cross.
I'm worse than you.
So here's what I think. What I think is what we need to do is recognize that we're sort of incarcerated, but we are not being physically tortured or really mentally tortured. We're just suffering because we feel our country is being held hostage to some of the worst people in the world, right? And then I think there's got to be a way out of this. Remember, he's not going to run again. He's just not. We're going to see the other side of this, and it's not going to be temporary. I think our nation is going to be transformed for the better. I think young people who are advocating for something closer to socialism will have their say. I
Hmm.
think we're looking at this whole administration, being completely out for themselves, looting us. And you look at today, I was just saying something just now, like Howard Lutnick just did something special for some companies in which his family is invested like $2 billion. And I mean, these guys are utter grifters. And they're really lucky it's not, 1789 in France right now,
Hmm.
because people will be taking out, I don't know how to say it right, the guillotine or guillotine. How do you say it?
Well, in America, you'd say guillotine, and in France, you'd say guillotine.
Guillotine. I'm not for violence. I believe in nonviolent resistance. So I'm glad that nonviolence works. I've been really reading up on this so-called 3.5% rule. I don't know if you've heard about that.
No, tell me a little more about it.
There's a professor named Erica Chenoweth who in
Hmm.
2013 published a book about civil resistance and has updated her research since that time, including doing a TED Talk a couple years later, like a TED, I want to say Las Vegas talk, I'm not sure, but she's been all over the news writing things now. I think she's at the Harvard Kennedy School for Public Policy. And her research, I think they looked at, more than the whole 20th century, as well as into the 21st century, where for big things like regime change or territorial disputes, that nonviolent resistance, first of all, worked much better than violence in terms of both create effectuating change and then
Right.
having some better government on the other side. The main reason for that is because more people will join a nonviolent movement, and the key to change is mobilization, right?
Mm.
Anyone can do it. You can resist from home, you can show up or whatever. But she also found out is there's like a magic number that if you get to 3.5% of the population at the peak of a like mobilization movement. So like let's say one time you have, and for us that would be 11 million in the US. So sometimes you have 6 million, another protest was 3, but when you get to that 11 million, when we get to that 3.5%, like 100% of the time you can get regime change. So I don't know. This is based on you have to read her work. But this is, e- e- correlation is not causation. We don't know if it would actually work in the US. They're kind of different, blah, blah, blah. But it's encouraging to me.
Hmm.
So when we get frustrated, I think the answer is go online. I think 5051 is talking about a new protest. I feel like, is it August 3rd or August 5th? Have you heard about
Hmm.
this?
No, I have not.
I think it's August 3rd. Like, this is the time to, like, you know, to get mobilized, to like find a place to protest. This is also the time to kick them or to like go for the Achilles heel because this disgusting plan, that Donald Trump has already allowed his deputy attorney general and personal lawyer to provide partial immunity to Ghislaine Maxwell, right? And they're going to pardon her and she's going to cook up this story that they want. And it's really this is the moment where we go, first of all, what the hell is going on? Why isn't Todd Blanche bringing someone who knows the case? Why aren't they talking to victims? Why don't they care about victims? I don't think our country is going to put up with this. I don't think they're going to buy it.
Right. I agree with you. I also, I think that's, as a non-lawyer, one of the things that sort of came to me in a vision, or just came to me, was both Pam Bondi, and I mean, you knew this from the get-go, but for simple me, Pam Bondi and Ted Blanche are his lawyers. So even when they're the attorney general or they still act as his lawyers if something were to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
So they,
yeah,
how is how is that?
to them.
So how is that in a sense legal?
Who's going to stop them? I mean, if you're asking me, is there anything? There is actually nothing. I mean, there is not. Both of them are confirmed by the Senate. We
Right.
may have the norm that there is a separation between the Department of Justice and the president because we don't want to be a place where the president is using an arm of the government that can literally put people to death and also imprison them for their own
Hmm.
personal grievances. But that's just a tradition. And, there's nothing in the law. I mean, the Department of Justice sits under the executive branch, right? So, that's not the, unlawful thing. And there's so much more. And yeah, and it's
Right. So
frustrating.
yeah, so it's very frustrating, and I
And
think
also,
this
can I just go
weekend,
back to the Todd Blanche?
yeah.
Not only is he acting as if he's Trump's lawyer and accidentally signed something like he was, he literally was the defense lawyer who represented him in the only case that actually went to trial, criminal case. And that was in New York State Court where a jury found Donald Trump unanimously guilty on 34 felony counts for falsifying business records to interfere in an election, right? That was his lawyer. Todd Blanche was literally his defense lawyer. And when that verdict came down was May 30th, 2024. And
Oh,
then in May of this year, a year later, is when Pam Bondi says, "Hey, dude, by the way, you're heavily mentioned here." This man, I mean, has a year gone by when he hasn't been accused of sexual assault or grifting or illegal activity or fraud? I mean,
a year has a day gone by. I mean, it's a real challenge to sort of remember when we didn't do things like this in our government. And I think that's actually one of the reasons I'm very hopeful, not to put too much pressure on people. Oh, I don't know, under the age of 35 or 30, but very hopeful that like we see a movement away from what's happening now,
well,
especially
let
like
me just
reflected in the Mamdani. um, success
Cannabis
in New York City.
acceptance.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah.
go back though to some good stuff that's going on about giving. I think people sometimes are too quick to be up in arms when the Supreme Court makes a ruling that favors the power of the executive. And let me give you an
Mm,
example. And I've been
please.
talking about this from the beginning. I'm really against a lot of their decisions. Don't get me wrong. Like, I think they
Hmm.
should have put the kibosh on Donald Trump's order to ban birthright citizenship, and they could have done that. But the thing I think is good is, good for the goose, good for the gander. They basically are allowing Donald Trump to say, I don't want this commissioner or that commissioner running this agency or that. The only one they've protected is the Fed chair. And here's the deal. That's good because when a new president comes in and wants these bought and paid for lackeys who are loyal to Trump to be gone, that can flip and happen.
Hmm.
And my
Oh, so
fear,
that's a very good point. Yeah.
the thing that I'm enraged about is that Donald Trump not only did the Mueller report part two find that he likely committed criminal obstruction of justice,
Right.
but he also engaged in a coup, and later was charged with it. He could have been charged well before he was. But what I'm furious about is that idiots who were
Mm-hmm.
advising Biden didn't consult with any like white collar criminal experts or anyone to say Merrick fucking Garland is the wrong guy. And I know I'm going to be yelled at by Marcy Wheeler or whatever because they're like, well, it
Hmm.
wasn't him. It was the Supreme Court. You know what? Death by a thousand cuts. Because,
Absolutely.
and he was the first person. And if he had gone in and appointed a special counsel to deal both with the Mueller report
Hmm.
and with the coup, that would have been good. And his whole excuse of only putting it later is because that's when he announced his candidacy. Who in the fucking planet didn't know this man was running again? Plus, he was the past president with a grievance. They should have hired someone, and just like fucking Bolsonaro, excuse me, I'm swearing again. I tried to cut that out. But just like Bolsonaro was arrested right away, like they could have immediately convened a grand jury. They could have
Absolutely.
immediately, because the anger, you strike when the iron is hot. You wait, people cool off. And the idea, lawyers are so like, oh, we want to do things out of reason. The public will not get behind things if they're not angry. Okay.
Absolutely.
And it's just anyone who thinks that passion is the enemy of reason is not being reasonable because they're not looking at the fucking data. And here's my biggest fear, Marissa, is
Please.
they're going to appoint another Merrick Garland type person to be the
Oh,
AG. And then I just give up on these people running our government.
that I can't even. I was kind of wondering what it would be like to be a fly. My dog is about to bark. Yep, we are live, and the dog is about to bark. There you go. Okay, I'm just gonna let him out. This is Norman, and yes, I do have a dog
Oh,
named
I want to see
Norman.
Norman.
He's just gone outside. So Norman, just as a little break from the hellscape that is thinking about Merrick Garland, which makes me
But can
very
I just
upset.
ask you, can we just break into sort of do some meta stuff? Is this your
Yeah,
first Substack Live?
this is my first Substack live. I did a Substack live, but it was live to record, with
Yeah, yeah,
E.
yeah.
Jean Carroll last week. Live to tape, as we used to say to in in the olden days where we had late night. Remember that?
So I'm confused because you told me, I mean, I would have like fancied myself up. You said like one person would be here besides us. And I'm looking and there's like 388. That's a huge number when you've never done this before, Marissa.
I am
Congratulations.
very. Thank you very much, and thank you for all of you guys for showing up. Is Norman named after Norm Ornstein? No, and he's not named after Norm Eisen either. Um, he is. He came from the shelter with the name Norman, and we had every intention. And I'm sorry for this little dog interlude, but we had every intention of changing the dog's name. Like, how like droopy is it to have the name? My name, dog's name is Norman. But it also my husband's last name, in case you guys don't know, is Bates.
Oh my
So
God, that's right. You told me this.
so the we started telling people our dog was named Norman, and then they're like Norman Bates, and I can't resist a cheap laugh like that. So our dog is
Oh my
Norman
gosh.
Bates.
Oh my God.
And he's sort of a maniac, but he's an 11-month-old, half Newfoundland, half Aussie Shepherd. So he's a big boy. He's a big lad, and he's only about 11 months old right now. So he'll only get bigger. He's about the size of a golden retriever now. So we'll see.
What does he weigh?
He weighs about 70 pounds now.
Because my kid's German Shepherd weighs
Yeah.
88. She's a
And
big girl. She's a
she goes,
sweetheart. She's like such a well-behaved German Shepherd. Oh my God.
but
I
isn't
didn't
she
know I
named
would
after
like a big dog.
Satan?
What?
Isn't she named after Satan?
I can't say the dog's name. But if the dog's, well, I can. I mean, yeah, I better not. I better not. Not
No,
really
don't do
named
it.
after Satan. The name is a street name, but you could argue that, but it doesn't even start with the letter S. So yeah, no.
There you go. No. Speaking of Satan, anybody out there watch South Park this week?
Is that how you do this thing? Yeah. Oh my
I'm
God.
I'm just love, 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 love. I think the Trey Parker and his mate were asked. No, Matt. Anyway,
Matt Stone.
were-
Matt Stone.
Matt Stone and Trey Parker were asked. Do you want to apologize for this? And they sort of looked at the camera.
And when they say I'm sorry or something.
They didn't say anything. They just looked
Oh
at the
my
camera.
God. Oh, look who's back. The boys need to fill up. Okay. Let's add a little
There we
more.
go.
Oh, I
So
shouldn't call them boys.
We're
That's
boys.
condescending.
Young men.
Young men.
young man.
Little young lads.
Lads. Okay, I'm going to try to do this without making it fizz too much.
Nailed it.
Jen, I know we shouldn't speculate about things like this when there's so many other things to speculate about, but what do you think Merrick Garland is thinking and feeling now?
I don't care.
But is he, I mean, does he have a sense of it all, do you think?
I think
Or
he thinks he did the right thing.
he did the right thing? Fair enough. I think you're right. Um,
On the other hand, what if he's in the Epstein birthday book, then I'll have a different opinion. That's such a bad. Bye, guys. I'm going to put this back in the fridge. Yeah.
Aside from the very obvious reasons that we should be up in arms about what happened with Epstein, why do you think it's made such inroads?
I mean, what I understand about QAnon, or what I understand about MAGA, is about 20 to 30% of the people that are core MAGA had subscribed to QAnon when it was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of there's always a grain of truth in any kind of conspiracy theory, right? So these are the same people who thought, which was untrue, that Hillary Clinton was operating some kind of child pornography ring out of Comet Pizza in
DC, yeah.
Okay, which was insane. Okay. And though these are the people who latch onto, I mean, they're very concerned about child trafficking, which all of us should be. And they latched onto Jeff Epstein in part because Bill Clinton hung out with him, in part because Epstein is Jewish. So it gets into is there this Jewish person who, and also Ghislaine Maxwell's Ghislaine is Jewish, or at least her father was,
right.
And was connected. So there's a little bit of it's a large Jewish conspiracy to control everything, plus they're pedophiles. So right.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that, right? Now, of course, there's no giant Jewish conspiracy to control everything, because if there were, Marissa, why would we be doing this? Why wouldn't we be out there controlling things? I mean,
exactly.
But anyhow, but the point is, I think it's so horrific what Epstein did. I think there's nothing, when someone dies in jail, that always helps add to conspiracy theory, right? You can think about, didn't Lee Harvey Oswald get shot in jail or something? Or shot on his way to prison? Or
on his way to
Jack Ruby died in jail,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's, whenever there's an assassination, right? And this is kind of like the JFK file was being released, or the MLK. Whenever someone's assassinated, you always think, that a lot of people were involved in it. And for me as a lawyer, the word conspiracy isn't a bad word. It's a statute, 18 USC 371, right? And there's so to me, conspiracy just means when two or more people enter into an agreement to commit an unlawful act. To me, that's what a conspiracy is. There's also different kind. Yeah, I won't get into the other type of conspiracy, but and in the states, they have to take some act in furtherance of it. So conspiracy is just the definition of two or more people engaged in criminality, and the benefit of having that framework means that if you and I entered into, we had an agreement to commit a crime, let's say to, I don't know, sell cocaine to people or whatever. And we entered into a conspiracy. We agreed to do that. Even our agreeing to do it, even if we don't don't actually complete the action, could be a crime, right? And the idea is and then also, let's say we do this. Let's say you and I do it one time, and then you're only occasionally involved. But I get together with your brother David, and we start doing this more. If you had not left our conspiracy, denounced it, and said I'm no longer part of it, you could be charged for any of the crimes that David and I did that were part of the. So conspiracy becomes a way of getting everybody involved, especially the kingpin, you, caught up in this. So when people talk about conspiracy theories, it means something different. Conspiracy theories mean that you're wearing a tinfoil hat and that despite reality, despite what the facts are, and nice.
I got my colander on my head and I am safe.
Although, isn't that the spaghetti monster religion?
Spaghetti.
Now?
Yeah, that's another totally different religion.
To me, when you use the word conspiracy theory, it's
I
different.
will watch this.
It's suggesting that you believe a lot of people are involved in something crazy and nefarious, and you're off your rocker, right?
Right.
So, so I think, there was a conspiracy to traffic. I mean, Elaine Epstein was charged with it and convicted for it. They had to shoot a conspiracy in trafficking young girls. She actually sexually abused girls along with Epstein. It was a whole scheme. So it's not a conspiracy theory. It was legally an unlawful conspiracy, criminal conspiracy. The conspiracy theory part, I think that makes people weirded out is that the parts that don't actually make sense. But in this case, it is a fact that very wealthy and powerful men spent time with Jeffrey Epstein. And there's some of them who did really weird things, like Les Wexner, Victoria's Secret and Limited, apparently for like $1 sold him a mansion in New York. People don't usually do shit like that, just because. So there's a lot of, and then there's the follow the money. When you're talking about over $1 billion of suspicious transactions recently reported after 2019, finally reported by major banks. And when the banks are settling with the victims, and we know there's like over 1,000 transactions, like just for one, there's like 4,000 transactions. I think Sheldon Whitehouse is looking at, follow the flipping money. Watergate wasn't a conspiracy theory; it was a real thing. And guess what? Epstein Gate is a real thing. And Donald Trump did, I believe, participate is participating in the cover-up of international child sex trafficking ring, and I am not wearing a tinfoil hat.
No, though it would look good on you. You mean
I should find one.
You should wear a hat nicely. But my question is, so, and this is, I like to traffic in nice Che because sometimes it keeps me happy. But this doesn't, which is I have a hard time understanding why Todd Blanche would. This is me being naive. I have a hard time understanding why he would go down there and talk to someone who has been convicted and is in prison for 20 years for their part in child sex trafficking. So what other reason could there be for him to go down there?
He went down there to see if she was going to do them a solid such that, this was, she doesn't want to.
She has no new information. She has no new information.
She doesn't want to be in prison until she's 80 years old.
Right.
When you say new information, she didn't talk on the stand, right? She took the fifth the deal is they just want to know what she's gonna, if they let her out, what she'll do. And they have an opportunity because here's the sweet spot. It's something I said in my show the other day. The reason why this whole Epstein thing is so big, and the reason why he's trying to wrap Obama into something else, right, is
Yeah.
because what his base wants is red meat and
Mhm.
revenge, and he wants them both. And the Epstein thing, he doesn't, here's the bottom line. Smart people can say, how do we create a story that makes it look like Donald Trump's the hero for exposing the pedophiles, and not covering it up? And so Ghislaine Maxwell is going to serve that function. And she is going to serve up a story
Mhm.
that's going to implicate Democrats who were involved with Jeff Epstein and will clear Donald Trump. And the thing is, hopefully, I want anyone to be brought in. I'm concerned that he is going to pick and choose. And this is what a fascist state does. There's this great book, I'm too often talking about it. And then I found out Ketanji Brown Jackson cited it in one of her dissents. And I keep talking about it. And it's called The Dual State by
Mm.
Ernst Frankl. And he wrote this right before he escaped from Germany. And the idea with the dual state before World War II, and the idea
Mhm.
with the dual state is that they connected people connected to the top, to the fascist regime, um, it's a prerogative state. The law
Mhm.
protects them. They get prerogatives. And for the rest of us in a situation like that, the law is normative. You have to follow the rules. In America, what we talk about this is for the wealthy and well-connected, the law protects, and for the rest of us, it binds, right? And so
Mhm.
what he's doing, it's not at all surprising, is that he'll look at that list and say, who do I like and who don't I like? It's also possible that he'll call them up and extract money from them in order to keep them off. This is a huge money-making opportunity. And I imagine he's got to throw some red meat. So ask yourself, I'm thinking of this,
Mhm.
who's dead that he can pin this on? Which
Other than
of the
Epstein's lawyer.
well,
Yeah.
no, that
I
doesn't
no,
work.
no, I'm just saying, but
Which of the
what a
men
coincidence. Yes.
which of the men who frequented his home and wrote him letters is no longer with us? Because if you blame it on a dead person, that will work. Now, I don't know. Martha's not going to be satisfied if
Mm-mm.
suddenly all these really rich people, if it's like there are no people on the list. So I don't know who he's going to throw to the wolves. I just don't. Or if he's not going to do it and think it will just work.
And just think it'll. Yeah.
That's Bill Clinton. That will be it.
Yeah. Well, Bill Clinton would be the person that they would
And you know
throw it
what?
right
Bill
at.
Clinton has been a liability for us for a long time. Hillary should have divorced him, but that's a whole other issue.
Yeah, that's another day and a different cocktail. Um, so there were some in other things that went on in the news today, and we should wrap up shortly, but that went on in the news this week, including executive orders for the homeless to be rounded
Oh,
up and put into um, the care of the state.
this is Hitler all over again. This is what the Nazis did. We know the poem. Okay, go ahead.
Right, exactly. We do know the poem. And so they went for immigrants. Now they're going for the homeless. It's not, and for people who are have mental disabilities.
Right.
So, um, do, do you think this is going to hold water? Or because it's an executive order and we now live in this fascist state that it's just doesn't even matter? I mean,
Well,
we have seen some pushback from the various judiciaries this week.
you're gonna need, it's what's complicated is there is that case, and I'm forgetting the name of it, that was out. I feel like it was in Oregon. The Supreme Court decided that you could criminalize homelessness, like you could require people that couldn't,
Yeah, it
right?
was Oregon.
So there's that, which is troublesome. I mean, the question is, if you want a nationwide injunction, you're gonna have to have a class action. Are there lawyers who are going to find plaintiffs who are homeless or mentally, disabled and living on the streets and define them as a class and try to do that under Rule 23. We'll see. What I will say is lawyers have done a really good job. We had that great ruling that Donald Trump is now pretending like he volunteered, but they now have to fund the after school programs and can't cut the money from the billions of dollars from the states. Like, we still have courts functioning in some areas. So my hope is all the really good lawyers out there will bring the right case to stop this. We need care, not punishment. Where are the beds for people who want a sobriety? Where are the shelters for people who have schizophrenia and need someone to give them their meds, or they're going to be homeless? Where is it? When
Where's the insurance? Where's the insurance that will
yeah
that will allow people to have the care that they need? When will we insurance companies say, no, actually you want a sobriety program? Okay, we'll pay for that. Right.
In my dream, we have a society where we celebrate and participate in creating the abundance, the dignity of work. And if you cannot work, there's care for you. We don't have to do what we're doing. We are, we don't have to be ranked. We can be linked. It's possible. But the kinds of people who want to dominate, to control, because they're really effing sadistic, are in charge now. And I hope that we can see that there can be a better way than this.
Yes, I agree with you. And I hope that, obviously I agree with you. And, after World War I, there was a backlash, which was, of course, there was a downturn. But let's hope for some positive hope in the years after we've hopefully come to our senses in some way, which I realize sounds a little bit like I've been drinking French 75 at 5 o'clock.
What I meant to say, now we have to go. The hope thing. Andre Hernandez, the gay hairdresser and gay makeup artist and hairdresser, is free.
Who was released. He was released.
And he's been through hell. And yet he has been released. That gives me hope.
It gave me hope. It made me sick to my stomach to see how he was treated. And to imagine all the people who have not been released. But that's, I'm glad he was released. I want to know if anybody out there in Substack Live Land has any questions for us right now. While you guys, while I try and read and talk, which is hard, I will suggest that everybody out there who hasn't seen Outrageous, the story of the Mitford sisters, watch it. It is entertaining and chilling at the same time, because if you know about the Mitford sisters, who were real people, two of the sisters, one ended up marrying Oswald Mosley, the head of the British fascists, and the other one had a fling with Adolf Hitler. So while the other family member, one of them went off to fight in the Spanish Civil War and became a communist. So
as one does. Your choices.
One of them became the Justice of Devonshire, and the other one she was Nancy Mitford, and she wrote many interesting novels. So it's a wonderful watch, and also chilling at the same time. Anybody else out there have any questions for us? We'll just wait. Say more about why you're optimistic, Jen.
Well,
given all the horrors out there, was how they.
Let me just say this thing: if you want more of this sort of nuanced optimism, right? I'm not a Pollyanna. You can find me every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern, where I do this show called Jen Taub Live. And sometimes I have guests and sometimes I don't. And I kind of go through the news with some clips and I kind of put my frame on it.
But no morning cocktails. It's very
no, it's coffee, straight up coffee, with a little
and and we can find that. What can we find that?
Oh, YouTube.
On YouTube. Okay.
I think the optimism is that I know I'm 58 and Donald Trump is 79. And I'm not a mathematician, but I can do that math.
Mm-hmm.
I'm planning to outlive him. So, there was this great Elvis Costello song when I was growing up that I used to listen to, which was called Tramp the Dirt Down.
Mm-hmm.
Elvis Costello's real name is Declan McManus. Love the man.
Yep.
And Tramp the Dirt Down was about what he was going to do. He was fantasizing what life would be like after Maggie Thatcher died. He's like, I want you to live a long life, whatever,
Yep.
whatever. And so, of course, when she died, the first thing I thought was that song. I think I play that song in my mind. When natural causes take the course of things, I will be able to say, thank God he's gone. That's it. And
I
I
think
mean
there are a lot
natural
of people,
causes.
natural causes. Absolutely. I think there are other people who feel similarly to you.
So, and similarly, I do think we're going to have elections. I do think we're going to throw out the majority in the House and that we're going to get a majority, to stall things, therefore. What I am hoping is that we can actually take over the White House and both chambers so
Mm-hmm.
that then we can actually expand the court to 13 justices because the ones who are there, several of them lied at their confirmation hearing, and we have 13 circuits, not 9.
That's also a really good, hopeful thing to look forward to. And you think that people would be, no, but I mean, you think that people would be up to expanding the court to 13. Okay, that's good. I mean, we should. I think
I got
that's
a list.
Jen Taub for Supreme Court. Somebody in the comments
I'm
asked
too old for that. Yeah.
where to watch Outrageous, and my gut says Netflix. I will put a link to the Declan McManus song, aka Elvis Costello song, with the YouTube video when I put it up. And just for those who are playing along at home, I just want to repeat for one drink, not one. We made multiples, but one drink is get your pencils ready. Are we ready at home? If you want to make a French 75 or if you want to watch my son cook, say hi,
son.
Oliver.
Hi, Oliver.
My son Oliver was cooking us dinner, which we're very grateful for. And I've been holding him up by having to do this in here. So we bet, yep, thanks. Yeah. To make a French 75, we need 1.5 ounces of gin, 0.75 ounces of lime or lemon juice, 2 ounces of Prosecco. Now hold that too, would you? 2 ounces of Prosecco and a whole lot of white peaches to muddle in there. Okay.
We're
If
just
you
muddling through. We're just muddling.
we're just muddling through. Oh my gosh. I think we should change the name. It's just muddling through. Next week I will be doing a live demonstration of pie crust because I am here. I think my face just looked like Martha Stewart's pie crust. She makes it seem so exciting. Anyway.
Ice cubes? Are you doing ice cubes in the pie crust?
There won't be ice cubes, but there will be ice water.
Okay.
And my pie crust is chef's kiss, and it's no fear pie crust. No fear. And that's my point. Too many people get scared around pie crust. I don't want that.
I do.
Maybe I'll have you back and you can try and make it along.
Ask people, do they want me to come back? Because I miss you so much. I want to come back all the time.
So if you, yay, we should come back. So next week is pie crust, probably at about this time, maybe at 11. We'll see. Tell me in the comments whether you think 11 a.m. Eastern time or 5 p.m. Eastern time is a better time. Okay. Thank you all so much for coming. Thank you, Jen Taub. Remember, Jen Taub, every morning you can be with her drinking your coffee and experiencing Jen Taub live and in person talking about what to expect from the day. Thank you very much, everybody. And I'll see you all soon. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Jen. Bye.
Bye.